some things that we face. You've come to people, and it seems as if they don't want to know. I understand it. I've been there. As a matter of fact, let me say it like this. I've heard so many nights. Oh. I cried so many hours.
My name's Vivian Anamoir. My son and daughter are Rachel and Ben Anamoir. There's going to be some people listening to this who are aware of us from our blog, yoziki.blogspot.com and yoziki.wordpress.com. Our blogspot is about a few things to explain the phenomenon of targeted individuals, illegal and immoral surveillance in people's homes, torture, electromagnetic, microwave, and so on. And there's been some other things that we've been able to put on our blog. For instance, our arrests by the police from our home for no reason. And we've written some stuff to the ECHR, the European Court of Human Rights, regarding our whole situation, lives from at least 1989, here in England, UK, as a targeted family. Now, there's so many things on the internet, on YouTube, that has gone into a lot of real situations, real life events, personal and otherwise. And there's a lot of misery, and we don't want to really add to that misery. So we don't really want to say too much about the negative stuff, unless people feel the need to know and ask us. We have no problem answering whatever we are asked to the best of our ability. But because this night that we've just had, because today is Wednesday the 19th of August, yeah? Last night has been quite an eventful night with regards to the sleep deprivation and the torturing. So I had a good long talk to the perpetrators, who always listen, who always use their devices to watch, their surveillance equipment, listening devices, and so on. And then I also had a nice long prayer talk with the God that we believe in, the one true God we believe in. Okay? And then we already had it planned on our day off that we would go to the court with our papers because of the recent targeting via the previous landlord withholding our rent deposit illegally, unlawfully. But instead of that, we've been prompted to do this video. We're not feeling that it would be necessary to say any more on our blog, because we pretty much said all we wanted to say there. We've uploaded videos, various types of videos that are on the YouTube, various subject matter, all of it relevant or sources of interest, okay? And we felt that this would be an ideal media to use now. This situation of torture and sleep deprivation and stalking, which has come under the title now of targeted individuals, has been taken, has taken all our liberty, our freedoms, our normal life away from us from at least 1989 to date. So Ben and Rachel, from now on, I'll just call them B and Z because that's what we call them. That's what we call each other. They have an opportunity, fortunately, to work from home. So that's what they do. The plan was I would do the same. But because the authorities are not leaving me alone to do anything in that capacity, to work, because of what they keep doing with the torture, etc., I am not working. Now we are thinking that it's time that people heard our own voices because of the way persons are showing signs of trying to escalate or actually escalating this torture where they can cause a seizure. They keep torturing my left arm, left side of my brain, mostly, left leg. Most of the time it's always on the left side, the back adjacent to the heart, chest, and then they will do the right side, but not as much as the left. So this is obvious to us now that people are definitely in a hurry to see my demise, okay? We've moved now. We're no longer down south. We used to be in Feltham. And then we moved to Hayes in Hillingdon, and now we're in Derbyshire, up north, South Derbyshire, okay? Normally what happens every time we move is we suspect the hospitals are informed about us and instructed about us to get ready to receive me, the main target of their torture, okay? So we are not even supposed to be here at this address, I suspect. Now, they expected us, or me, to have been in their hospital by now, in the local Royal Derby Hospital, or wherever else. So, this is where we're at. I am being deliberately incapacitated. I'm in bed most of the time. Not being left alone to work or to even go out on a regular basis to do errands like normal people do, shopping. We haven't even had a GP for about 15 years because of the way they are also used against our interests, okay? All right, now, I hope that is pretty much giving a certain amount of information. There is more on the blog if you would like to read up on other stuff and access certain videos we've uploaded onto our site, okay? But as I said, there's so much misery in this world that we don't feel like adding to it. We are aware that there are other people like us who are being targeted by people in and out of this country. And this is to them as well. Your situation, I don't obviously know the ins and outs of all of you, but we're pretty sure that there are going to be some who are completely innocent of anything and everything that's going on in their lives as targeted people. Because that is the case with us. We can't be the only ones that have done nothing to warrant all this crap. Okay? So, this is to you lot as well. If you need a way to manage your situation, if you are being completely and deliberately isolated from everybody, including family, friends, and so on and so forth, because they are in on it, try, if you don't already do so, try something outside of what people usually do in the way of relieving your pain, whether it is psychological or physical or emotional. All I can do is pass on to you what we ourselves have learned. And I'm thinking that these words, I'm trying not to be too subjective. I'm trying to give you what has been given to us, okay? On a spiritual level, you may find it helpful, you may not. But there are times when you can go to various places, churches, meetings, and still you find that people are not doing their job in the way they have been or in the way they're supposed to. People in those positions are supposed to be teachers. They're supposed to be like shepherds, looking after God's flock. And they don't do that. So, as I said, I had a good long prayer talk to the God that I know this morning. And we are told in the scriptures that people are given words to say, that they shouldn't worry what they're going to say, that they'll be given the words to say, especially if they are brought up in front of the judge in court, especially if they are innocent of whatever charges they're there for, okay? It's not just limited to when you are in court. Throughout your life, our lives, we can use the same way of living and dealing with life by relying on the inspiration we are given through the highest wisdom, the highest power, which is God Himself. Now recently people are talking about universal law. The author of universal law, you cannot get any higher than God Himself. God is the author of universal law, which is real. So if the laws on this earth are corrupt, the universal laws which are over and above and override this corrupt world we all live in, still has power and control. But you have to tap into it. So when people are riding roughshod over you, targeted people, whatever way that you're being targeted, maybe it would work for you to manage your situation if you remember that whatever is going on in your life, there is one which is over and above everything and everyone, including all kinds of evil perpetrators inflicting suffering on others, like the people using these torture weapons. Now, there are times I have difficulty calling them people, because they don't behave like people. They are very beast-like. They behave in a sadistic, bloodthirsty, vampirish or vampiric manner. And as soon as you use those words to describe people, the people element and human element is not there anymore. They have become beast-like just by virtue of using those words, vampiric. It is a form of what is that word beginning with D, P? Depravity, yes. It is debase, degenerate. All those kind of words are going away from normal human behavior and going nearer and nearer towards a beast-like mentality, way of behaving. They're not even on the same level as animals, because it'd be few and far between the animals that are sadistic just for the hell of it are few and far between. We know about the black widow spider. We are told that she stings her prey to death before or after whatever she does. Okay? But animals don't do these things where they have to torture people continuously. Keep torturing and stinging and hitting or hammering or all the words you can express. All the people who are being targeted in this way know what I mean. All the people who are in my position, our position of being targeted with these torture weapons will know how they feel. Sometimes they feel like very sharp pain. Sometimes they can be hammer blows with a blunt instrument. It feels like Sometimes it feels like a very strong, powerful microwave, and it burns. And you know when you've been microwaved, no matter what level, frequency they use. There are times when they are targeting your organs, eyes, ears, and causing piercing noises, loud piercing, and so on and so forth. So all of you lot, I'm talking to you right now. There are no animals in the world who just do these things to other animals for the hell of it. Only these evil people are doing these things. In this world that we're in, are doing these things willingly and happily for whatever they're getting out of it, whatever joy they're getting out of it, or thrill they're getting out of it. Only these evil people are carrying on in the world like this. Animals don't do that. So they have made themselves lower than animals by torturing every day, every night, other people for years on end. Some people have been going through some form of abuse, torture, stalking for over 20 years. In our case, this is 27 and more now. We're going into the 28th year now. 28 years. Since at least 1989. And now, for everybody listening, you're going to be asking yourselves, why are they doing this? Why would they do this? How did it start? You're probably going to be wondering. I'm happy to go into that. It is extremely negative. But we've seen so many videos on YouTube that are saying now what we said in I think it was around 1980, it would have been 1988, 89 and beyond. My daughter, Rachel, was about, how old would she about be?
When back in school?
Yeah, primary school. About 7, actually. Yeah. She was 7 years old when her mother, realised what she was telling me was going on in her school, whereby her head teacher would keep finding a way to call her out of class so that he could groom her, keep kissing her on the lips and telling her things like, "Don't you think I care about you? Are you happy at home? You're not happy at home, are you?" And so on and so forth. So, fortunately, it didn't get to the point of what we now see on the internet, on YouTube, with the Hampstead case, whereby several people in the same school locality were in an organized cult in a sadistic ritual abuse death cult. Abusing children in the primary school. I understand it was Christchurch Primary School. We lived up the road from there, in Kilburn, not far from there. In another church, that was the church school that my daughter was at. Another church school. This is supposed to be a church school in Hampstead. My son and daughter were in another church school, not far from there, called St. Mary's, right? Yeah. All right. St. Mary's, Church of England, yeah?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Now, we don't know what else went on there, but it's beginning to make a lot of sense that this stuff that does go on and is all over the internet has been going on since before my children even were born. Okay? Which would have been in the 80s, the early 80s. Oh, dear. So, fortunately for us, with all the problems we went through, not just at that school, that primary school, the St. Mary's, we didn't stay in the area. But whatever else was going on, it is clear that this Christchurch in Hampstead is not the only school that is doing this stuff to children. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you that are listening, all you have to do is type in Hampstead whistleblower kids or whatever, Hampstead, Christchurch, or whatever. It's Hampstead, something like that, abuse. And you'll get the information that is out there. So this is what has been the instigator of the evil that we have been subjected to all these years. I told the social workers what my daughter told me and was going through, and would have gone through worse if we didn't take it upon ourselves to leave. First of all, though, it's not everybody that is going to be aware, and it is so good and important that people are made aware of a lot of things. So the internet, YouTube, is a good medium right now to use to make people aware of whatever. So that is answering your question, hopefully, of why this should all start, why they should target us. Why us? The social workers wanted me to put her back into the same school, and I didn't. And they've not had that much education ever since. They've been learning from home. That would have been around from before they started primary school, when they were in primary school, and after they no longer went to primary school. My daughter's never been to a secondary school. My son went very fleetingly, innit?
Kind of off and on.
Yes, didn't have much of a secondary education either. However, He did go to college when we felt it was a good time to try if he was going to be safe without the targeting. And my daughter went to work again when we thought it would be fairly safe. But we've never lived anywhere or gone to any form of education or work outside our home for longer than less than a year. Is that right? Yeah. We've never gone and done any of that for longer than a year at a time because of the targeting issue and the stalking issue and so on. So I hope that answers your question as to why they would do all this. It is still not rational behavior to be targeting people with all kinds of evils just because somebody has seen fit to not go along with whatever they were expected to go along with. Just because I, as a mother, did not crack up when they expected me to. Did not hand over my children to the care people, so-called, when they wanted me to. Because they, in their eyes, were putting all kinds of pressure on me, which should have driven me crazy, and I didn't crack up. So this has gone on for years and years and years, and they have followed us throughout these years everywhere we've gone with the same surveillance, the same listening, obsessive listening and watching in our homes, with the same stalking wherever we go. This has gone on since the 80s. In one form or another. And the authorities, we have had a lot of dealings with all kinds of people. With the DSS, in those days it was called Department for Health and Social Security, then it was called Department for Social Security, then it was called DWP, Department for Work and Pensions. Whether we like it or not, all levels of the authorities are involved in one way or another, especially back in the day, in targeting us, okay? All the information is on our blog. So we've not had a very full life. We don't go anywhere except to get food, and even that, there's times we don't even do that. We just eat whatever we find in the kitchen, in the fridge, and make meals out of that, even when we haven't got enough, okay? Yeah, we've even had nothing but tomatoes, tin tomatoes, and an onion. So we've made tomato soup out of it. And then we've stayed indoors because it's obvious that if you keep going and giving these people what they want, which is to find a way to observe, to find a way to keep checking you out, it becomes tedious. So there are times we don't go out because of them. Even right now, 2015, not not just tedious, it becomes extremely, what would you say, B? Problematic. Yeah?
Yeah.
There are times we are aware that they know what we eat. All they have to do is look, know what we buy. The records of it are on the till. They infiltrate whatever. And our rubbish bin, where you do the, what's that thing called, B? The recycling bag. Yeah, they will go through that, see what you use, what you eat, what you do, and so on. And there are times where we have to be careful we're not poisoned, because that's the lengths these people go to. People. I said that again. They're not really people. There's something wrong with them. They're not people. Behave in a very unhuman way. We know that they go through our stuff somehow. Our rubbish, probably. Our recycling bag. They know what we buy. So an instance is that you will buy, for instance, something as mundane as disinfectant. And this is an instance we have really had. It may still be the same. And we like the smell of this disinfectant. It's a concentrated disinfectant. Or a laundry soap. And because they know what you use or what you bought, the next time you buy it, it's different. It might be that it's probable that the disinfectant no longer has the preservative in it, so it doesn't last as long. When you put it in the water to dilute it, things like that, you notice. You become sensitive to all their ways that they use. Why else do they obsessively follow us around to know what we use so that they can decide how they're going to change it? You might have gone and got some veggie sausages that used to be quite cheap 1 minute. The next time you go back to get it, because you buy loads of it, next thing you see, they are smaller but more expensive. Just because we know how to make that part of our menus in various ways. Because we don't eat a lot of meat. That's just another example of how they operate. These very weird, evil perpetrators following us around. So I started off at the beginning saying that we had intended to go to the court to deliver our documents, because the previous landlord is withholding our rent deposit illegally, unlawfully. One of the reasons we haven't taken it before now is for the same reasons I just explained. It's very, extremely difficult to keep doing things outside the house, the home, our home, when you know you are continually being stalked by very strange people, affected people, obsessive people. People who go to these lengths are dangerous people. So we go by our spirits. If we feel it's a good time, that's how we operate. If we feel it may not be a good time, we don't do whatever. Okay? So you targeted people who are going through the same, similar stuff. See how you can, if you don't already, see how you can help yourselves, because it is obvious, especially if you're black like us, nobody is going to help you. See how you can help yourselves with a higher power, if you don't already believe. See how you can pray to a higher power than the level that these, I want to call them degenerates, are on. Yeah? Try and see if you can help yourselves to pray to a higher power. The highest power you can pray to is God Himself. Other people who are reluctant to call Him God, who call Him things like the Creator. What else? You know what I mean. You cannot get any higher. It's interesting, isn't it, that when people are in dire straits, or they think they're dying, or they are having a lot of problems, difficulties, the same people who don't believe in God suddenly call upon Him then, don't they? You don't hear them say, "Oh, Creator." But you do hear them say, "Oh, God, help me." You do hear them say, "Oh, God," then, don't you? So anyway, back to you people who are targeted like us. If you don't already, maybe you will find some solace and comfort, and even more, in the way of real signs, miracles, wonders come back at you, act through you, by tapping into the universal, all-powerful, one true God. I'm sure He's not going to be judging what you calling Him, if you're calling Him by the right name. Because the all-knowing, omnipotent God is above such things. Otherwise, He wouldn't be God, would He? So He's not sitting there saying, "Well, I'm not going to listen to you because you're not even calling me by my right name." If you are parents would you sit there and say, well, I'm not going to listen to you, to your children, because you're not calling me mummy or daddy or Henry or whatever? Would you do that? The chances are no. So the one true God is even more of a father, who is even more of a father than we mortals, who knows how to be a father even more than any of us mere human beings, is gonna have the highest intelligence to know how to be a listening, loving God. He is the highest, best father you could have. So he's not going to be judging how you are speaking to him, what you are calling him, and so on and so forth. He also knows your pain. He knows your circumstances. Before you even call upon him, pray to him, talk to him, he knows each and every one of us. Because he is all-knowing, all-seeing, all-powerful. He is bigger and higher than the universe. So when these Masons have the highest 33 degrees of knowledge and wisdom, do you really think that you can measure God in the same way? You cannot measure God. He's even bigger, more than 360 degrees. Okay? Infinite wisdom, power, cannot be measured. Don't even bother listening to such stuff as 33 degrees. When you see it in that light, it doesn't even compare, does it? It does not compare. And maybe that is why people are put off, deliberately trying to put off people from believing in anything that is going to make them stronger and smarter. Okay? So you targeted people. I think I will leave things there. I'm not used to talking, so I know I'm probably coming across a little bit strange. Hopefully this will not be the last one that I do. And then also it may be that you will hear, or my son and daughter will decide to do their own ones, or join me, or I join them. So, maybe it's been of some help, maybe it hasn't. We are prepared for what happens when you publish videos. We understand about the trolls and the gatekeepers and the controlled opposition and so on and so forth. we know the culture of YouTube users. So whatever you want to put there, I understand we also can remove whatever is going to be unnecessary. Okay? Is that right, B?
Yeah.
Okay then.
So, yeah.
Okay then. So we're going to leave it there. I am coming from a place of understanding your world that we all have to live in. I am a real human being. So whoever doesn't like what I've said, whatever. Whoever likes it, all well and good. Okay? See ya.
There are some things that we face. You've come to people, and it seems as if they don't want to know. I understand it. I've been there. As a matter of fact, let me say it like this. I've heard so many nights. Oh. I cried so many hours trying to make it right. Yeah, I'm trying to make it right, but just didn't have the power. And you ignored all my tears. It hurt me so bad. You wanted them to disappear. I tried to let it go, but I guess you just don't want to know. Listen, if I had a dime for every time I tried to call your name, some tell me I'd be wealthy. I learned that I could cope. Yes, I did. Through my struggle, I discovered I could make it. Oh. In nights so long and cold, so cold, you don't know how cold. I discovered I could take it. Oh, now I wouldn't change a thing. Oh, Lord have mercy. Not for the knowledge that I've gained. You know what I discovered in my trials? I learned that I could grow. I really did. I tried to let it go. I did. I tried to let it show. But I guess you just don't want to know. Really don't want to know. Don't want to know how many nights I cried. You don't know how many times I felt like I was gonna die, but I kept on moving. I kept on hoping. I kept on believing, and now I can tell you that I'm over. Anybody here? Say I'm over. I'm over it now. I can't explain it, but right now I'm over it. I'm over it right now. One morning I just broke free, and the chains, they just dropped off of me. People can talk about me as much as they please, but I'm all grown up now. I said I'm all on up now, and I've got the victory, cause I'm over. I'm over it now. I'm over it now. Say it again. Say it. Just wave your hand if you know you're over it. If you feel the presence of God, if you feel the anointing of God, just declare now that I'm over it now. Say it right now. It's over. I'm walking out of here free. Cause I'm over it now. I'm really over it now. Went to a meeting one night, and my heart wasn't right, but something got a hold of me, and I'm over it now. Wilma, would you just, people don't know you've been through some things. They think cause you're looking so pretty in your hat, they don't know what you've been through. But could you just say one good time, I'm over it now?
I'm over it now. Over it now. I can't say how, but I'm over it now. Right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. I'm over it now.
Over it now.
I'm over it now.
Don't have to live with it.
Don't have to
Don't have to
live with
be
it.
in it.
Don't have to be in it. I'm over it. Over it now. Over it now. I can't say how, but I'm over it now.
Now,
Right now.
now, now, now.
Right now.
Now, now, now.
I'm over it now.
I tried to let go. I really did. I tried to let it show. Thank you, Jesus. But right now, I learned that I could grow. But I guess you just don't want to know.
Mumezola geshe ingoma gepe kuzola mudu
lange sheri ngoma ngepe kuzola mono motindo. toi tu es à moi, Tima ya Moulou. Je suis à toi et toi tu es à moi, amour pour moi. Luzala mama, Wayamio, Mabaka Mouloulangue, Iwako, je suis à toi et toi tu es à moi, Tima ya Moulou. Je suis à toi et toi tu es à moi.